So in this lesson, we are going to learn how to incorporate chiaroscuro, which is light and dark. And we're going to apply that principle first to a shape, which is going to be like a sphere. And you're going to use the value scale in order to achieve that. So for this lesson, I've got a couple of materials. I've got just a regular graphite pencil. Mine's a 4B. I've got 3 different charcoal pencils, soft, medium, and hard, my blending stump, which is just like made out of paper, and a white eraser. So you're going to start by drawing just a regular circle. I'm using my regular pencil for this, and I'm going around a couple of times so that I can get a round circle. And then you also want to make sure that you draw a horizon line. This grounds your object and makes sure that it is not just like floating in space. So that's super important. And then I'm just going to go ahead and like draw a hard circle here. So my light source is going to be coming from the top, right? So you don't need to draw this arrow, but this is going to help remind me where my light source is coming from, which is super important. So I'm going to switch over to my soft charcoal pencil, and I'm going to start by creating the like bottom shadow, which is called the deep shadow. And I'm just going to go ahead and color in. So this part is going to be your darkest part. So I'm going to put some color there. And then I'm going to basically lighten it up as I come to the top. And we want to create like a nice gradient. And this part here is going to be kind of your lightest, because that is where your highlight is basically bouncing off your light source. And then it's going to get kind of like darker right here. So I've got 3 layers of value going on. And at the very bottom of your ball, there's going to be a little bit of reflected light. And then I'm also going to go ahead right underneath your sphere, you're going to draw your cast shadow, which is one of your darkest shadows. And that makes it like 3-dimensional looking, and it lifts it off your surface just a little bit. Then I'm going to pause there and take my blending stump next and use that. So with my blending stump, I'm going to use it on its side, and I'm basically just going to blend in all of the charcoal that I have put down on my paper. It's going to smooth it out. I'm going to be careful not to like go over my highlight there, but it will go just a little bit. And then I'm going to do the same with my cast shadow. So now it's like pretty dark. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more darkness to it using my charcoal pencil. I'm trying to get kind of like the whole value scale here. So if you remember the value scale, I want to see kind of like all the darkness and lightness. Leave this little bit of reflected light, and that's a pretty good start. So next I want to create a little bit more contrast. So to create true chiaroscuro, you want to have a lot of contrast in your drawing. And right now I only have the sphere and the cast shadow. So I'm just going to go ahead and like add a little bit more charcoal in the background, a little bit lighter than everything surrounding it, and then same in the background here. This side is going to be lighter, And then this side is actually going to be darker behind it to create that contrast. And then go ahead and take your blending stump, get rid of some of those lines, make it softer, blend it in with that whole range of tone, and soften your whole image here. So you can see that the sphere is starting to look a little bit three-dimensional. Just going to go ahead and use my eraser to lighten in some of the places that got a little bit more like darker than I wanted them to. And that is how you apply chiaroscuro to create like a 3D effect on an object.